There we go. Just like that, we're live. The High Noon Hemp Show. Every Wednesday, noon Eastern Time on the Hemptations Beach page. I am Joe Clare. I'm here with the man himself, Beach, the CBD educator of the southwestern Ohio area. Very busy. Live from headquarters in Sharonville Beach. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. Welcome to the show, everybody. The High Noon Hemp Show. I got it right. I didn't think about it. So here we are on a lovely Wednesday high noon to discuss all things hemp. And as you say, it's true. I've been doing a lot of educating in the Southwest area. I am happy or glad to say that we have the people of Cincinnati and the CBD industry has my voice in Cincinnati. I worry a little bit again about the rest of the state, and I've seen recently that some places are down saying the same. Hey, you know what? We're not doing anything illegal. We're going to continue to sell these products status quo. I did hear a retailer in Toledo. He told me that he had some CBD gummies taken that were coming in from California, but they went ahead and released them eventually. And so I think that there's some defining going on around the state, and so we're still in the middle of this game. I think that they're playing. I think that they're kind of already backpedaling a little with what they're doing and how they're saying and how they're going about it. Due to the fact that they're very, very close to being sued, the Board of Pharmacy in the state of Ohio, because they are in fact half truths, as we like to say. Whereas they're for you. Anything from marijuana as a marijuana product has to be sold through the grown process, blah. I am not arguing that. What they are still failing is recognize industrial hemp. And by doing this, their opinion of the state law is basically saying that all hemp products are illegal in the state of Ohio. This is the opinion of the Board of Pharmacy. And so that's every product in Hemptations, more or less, whether it's lotions or jeans, because they say there is, if it comes from cannabis, then it's marijuana. And if it's marijuana, then it has to be through them. And they are literally failing to recognize the legality of hemp products, whether it's the CBD issue or not. Once again, if their opinion of the law is true, then the state law enforcement or the law enforcement agencies are going to have to run around to Whole Foods and Kroger's and all those places and pull the food product off the shelves. They're going to run around to anywhere that sells hemp bags or hemp clothing or any of that. And that would all be a part of that opinion. And so we all know that that's ludicrous. That's why that's their opinion. If it comes to that, then somebody, the state of Ohio, is going to get sued, just like the DEA got sued by the HIA in 2004, which basically made the source law. And so you have to look at the source of the product to determine whether it is a marijuana product or it is and so. We go on that, and then, of course, we go on the 2014 Farm Bill, which was actually the 2014 Agricultural Act, to call it by its specific name. I've been calling it the Farm Bill. Everybody calls it the Farm Bill. Yeah. But in all honesty, if I get upset at the people that call the Affordable Health Care Act Obamacare, then I have to get upset at myself for calling the Agricultural Act the Farm Bill. It is the Agricultural Act of 2014, Section 7606, which clearly defines industrial hemp, what it takes to grow, process, sell legal industrial hemp in the country. And so once again, ironically, these products, whether it's the CBD or lotion or clothing, continue to be imported and making their way through customs. That's the only two ways you can get products, obviously. The ironic part of that is raw materials, because of the new tariffs that are going in. Right now, we're at 10% increase. We're going to go up to a 25% increase on raw materials. So anybody that's importing raw materials, hemp raw materials right now to manufacture clothing or anything from China, no matter what it is going to get a huge increase on that raw material. I just read one of our wholesalers, they have their product made in China, and if it's made in China, so the final good is in China, it doesn't come the tariffs. And so, it's a funny game of who are we really trying to help here? Okay, yeah. But the tariffs on the raw goods, which makes it impossible for people in America to bring it in the United States to bring it in and make a T-shirt out of it, or make a shampoo out of it, or make a CBD product out of it, whatever it is. Okay, you're going to increase that price. But if I just go ahead and have the Chinese grow it, process it, and then make the material out of it, my cost won't go up. Okay, and so I think that's to me, that just seems like economics that don't make much sense. You're hurting the guy in the United States and helping the guy in China. And again, I'm a one world person. If people are getting treated fairly, no matter where things are getting done, I'm not opposed to it. I'm all about supporting, goods from the United States. Now, nothing warms my heart more than selling product that was grown here, processed here, and sold to me and then put on the shelves. And so, but in the same sense, I'm not trying to diss the Chinese or the Chinese people who have been supplying the United States with most of its hemp fiber until now, and will, most more than likely continue to do that. And so, that's kind of a funny game there too. Not to get sidetracked, but that is kind of something that happened just recently that will affect the hemp industries one way or another. Back to the CBD issue. Once again, the state of Ohio Board of Pharmacy's opinion is all that stuff would be illegal anyway, so we couldn't sell it in Ohio. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. We'd make picket signs on hemp board, but then they would say that is a Schedule 1 narcotic somehow. So, we'll be running in circles there. I did want to point out to everyone that my cohort, my partner in hemp crime, so to speak, on the High Noon Hemp Show, Joe Claire, did write an article for the Marijuana Times. He is an author. He does other stuff in the cannabis world when he's not here on Wednesdays, pushing the buttons and make everything go smoothly for me. Because this would not look anything like it looked if it was just me holding a phone in front of me doing this. And so, go find Joe in his world. He is Stoner Jesus, aka Stoner Jesus. And to me, he's always Stoner Jesus. I find a very hard time to call him anything but Stoner Jesus. I've always known him as that. I've been on his show multiple times. He does podcasts, live broadcasts, and all kinds of stuff out there, folks. So at some point or another, go and seek him out. He's the guy that's going to give you that cannabis news on the side of the THC. Here we're kind of the no THC side of things when it comes to industrial hemp. Joe and his alter ego world of Stoner Jesus is on the the side of the THC issue. And so if you want to be educated on that and all things that, go find him, like I said, out there. He'll be happy to. Joe, where are you out there on the internet world?
Many places. If you want to check out the article that you referred to, marijuanatimes.org, everything I write there, the Cannabis News Show. As you said, I cover all aspects of cannabis, law, culture, all that stuff. And I have some pretty strong opinions about, certain things and certain people, and I'll let people know about them. And I've made a living from it, which is really incredible. I never really consider myself like a journalist or a reporter. I'm more of a writer who knows a lot about marijuana and cannabis and likes to talk about it and give my opinions about it. And so far I've been pretty successful. Stoner Jesus part is, that's pretty much anything goes. stonerjesus.net if you want to check that out. But viewer discretion is advised. I have many disclaimers on my show.
I would say,
I play 4 times an hour.
Put a disclaimer there.
I'm on
the High Noon Hemp Show does not necessarily condone any behavior on the Stoner
Cannabis
Jesus
Radio. They have a ton of podcasts on Cannabis Radio, of which I'm one, and I believe still to this day I'm the only one with a disclaimer that I play 4 times an hour, saying that Cannabis Radio disavows anything that happens. Their sponsors do. They have nothing to do with it. And which is fine. I'll play it as much as they want me to.
It's a big world out there. There's enough room for everybody, folks.
Absolutely, it's a big internet. That's for sure.
If we could find somewhere to ship off all the real not cool people, that would be. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to write the test. So anyway, let's move on to our product spotlights of the day.
Indeed.
The first product spotlight is, again, this is a product we have been carrying for a long time. This is a product to the stars over the years, Earthly Body.
Whoops.
They even have a CBD
line.
Hold
on, bitch. That was my bad. Your when I went away from your camera, your audio cut out. That's completely my bad as director. So back to the top for Earthly Body.
Okay. Earthly Body has been around for a long time. It says they're established 1994, so they were open before we were open. So they were probably one of our first body products, and we have been carrying them now ever since. And so again, I love their stuff. They do a great job putting everything together. We have a tough time keeping it in stock. It works well. And so that is Earthly Body. Again, been around for a long time. And our second product of the day is the Hempsels. This is the Lancaster Trading. Been in it for a long time, still continuing to do his thing in Pennsylvania for the hemp cause and his products. I love their pretzels, the mustard. You can't go wrong with some hemp and honey mustard, honestly, if you like mustard. And so, again, we've been, I don't know, I should have researched when they first started up, but they were probably one of our first food products that we started carrying in the stores. They now have a frozen pretzel. We need to get those out into the freezers. I know they have the hard pretzels. They have a jam, a hot and spicy. So if you like spicy, they have a hemp spicy jam that we should have on the shelves here in the stores. But just really good stuff. Really, again, they don't just make hemp products, but they promote hemp, and they're out there, defending it in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area. So get some delicious Hempsels. The next one is Planet Everywhere, and you might recognize that name because Planet Everywhere goods are actually made right here by us. Planet Everywhere is our manufacturing company. When it is spelled WEAR at the end, that's the manufacturing company. It's also spelled WHERE, which is Planet Everywhere Productions, which is actually kind of what we're doing right now. This is a Planet Everywhere Productions, WHERE. I am not even going to be able to spell it. And then we do have WARES. It's the brilliant part of the name itself. I thought of that again. I've been trying to use that for a while. And we have been, we manufacture our goods. But these are coffee filters. So reusable coffee filters. I've been using the same coffee filter. I mean, I have some hemp coffee filters that are every bit 10, 15 years old. And so, we started making these when we started manufacturing goods because they're simple. They're great. I mean, I can't even imagine how many cups of coffee I have made and never had to use a paper filter, especially a bleached paper filter. So again, if you are going to use a paper filter, I recommend an unbleached paper. I also recommend getting into Hemptations, and these are just a couple sizes. It's kind of a medium and a large size. And again, every day I use hemp filters. So we have a hemp filter at the house in the coffee maker. I have a hemp filter at the office in the coffee maker. We were doing Keurig with refillable filters after I realized how much waste the Keurig really is. When we did the refillables for a while, now I'm just back to a classic coffee maker. And so once you realize how uneco-friendly Keurig cups are, you have to kind of question why you would want to use that. Now, we went to the point where we were cutting the tops off, recycling the bottoms, composting, and then we went to the refillable ones. And so if you have a Keurig now, I would recommend getting a refillable cup instead of buying I know how handy it is, and I loved it, but they're not eco-friendly. Anyway, got an old school coffee pot, and you're buying paper filters. Get yourself a Planet Everywhere coffee filter.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next product is another semi-newer one, but someone that we sell a lot of, and that's the Dr. Squatch bar soap. They also do a beard or a shaving soap kind of deal. So, these guys have come on semi-recently, probably out there five years or so at least. And again, they were kind of West Coast. And I think they got so big over in the Midwest and the East Coast that they actually opened a distribution center in Indiana or something. And so, this is a really great bar soap. I usually revolve a Dr. Squatch bar in the shower, in the bathroom somewhere. I kind of mix up the soaps and whatnot that I use. But I do on a semi-regular basis use the Dr. Squatch. It's great stuff. They get very high praise in the internet world. You can find them on the internet if you want to check them out.
I will say that of all the products that we've done so far, not to play favorites, this is my favorite logo. If you're watching the video, there's a great logo of, I guess that's Dr. Squatch himself.
I believe it is. And speaking of that video, and I will have to say, if you go and you search them out on YouTube or not, they made some really fun commercials for their product back, again, it was probably a couple years ago. I don't know if they're still doing seen too much. I'm not sure if I need to follow them on Facebook or something, but anyway, they made some really fun videos for the product for a while, and I'm sure they still do this. They're still kicking it pretty strong. So. And now on my personal collection, part of the day. This is something that usually tours with me when I go out on the road to educate people about industrial hemp. But this is my copy of the 1940 edition of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass, hemp bound. And so the binding of this particular, it's an oversized book of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass, is in fact bound with hemp fiber. This is probably one of my treasured possessions when it comes to Oracle hemp and what can I say, ionic hemp stuff. We couldn't grow. Well, this was in 1940. You couldn't grow industrial hemp, but there was enough industrial hemp around that someone said, "Hey, we should bind of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass," which is great stories of why we should name all these things with hemp. and it actually has a box it slides into, which is also hemp, I believe.
Nice.
So that is the product spotlight of the day. 2 new, 2 old, 1 from my personal collection. 2 plus 2 is
Indeed.
1. It's 2 plus 1. I'm not going to add that up. I've just tried to do some funny math somehow.
This, of course, brings us to really, as I've said before, the probably is going to be the fan favorite. And why I just thought of this last week and I didn't bring it up, but I thought of it again this week that this segment really should be called Beachwear.
I reckon it is true because everything that I wear is in fact beach. Ironically, today, you've caught me. You've caught me on the to bring this up, as people will see. And why we don't say, what is the beach wear today? It's true because every day is beach wear. We've got the segment. What are you wearing, beach? We like.
That's right.
I must say it like that. So anyway, today, Beach from head to toe is wearing a Hang 10 Aloha hat, which is 100% hemp, which ironically matches my Ralph Lauren. That's right, Ralph Lauren Polo Sport Hawaiian shirt. I've been trying to come up with a reason to wear this shirt for a long time. We're getting close to the end of summer. It's beach wear. It's day. What are you wearing, beach? So I've got this lovely, that's right, Ralph Lauren Polo Sport shirt. I probably had it for 10 years or so at least. Across my shoulder, you will see, holding up my hemp ply habitat skateboard is a hemp strap that was made at Planet Everywhere. So and that is again a hemp ply skateboard. Made by Habitat. I don't think they're available now. I've had that one for quite a while. And so my shorts are Island Wear hemp. Island Wear has been around for a long time. I'm pretty sure they're still out there. They have, and I believe it's 100. I am wearing 100% hemp. The shorts are 100% board shorts, kind of surf shorts made for Hawaii. And again, I've had these for a long time. Another little bit of fading from probably washing and wearing and swimming in them. They're holding up great. And so we move on down, or I should say over to the old boxer briefs. These are made by Hemptopia. You can find Hemptopia goods online. They have some really neat stuff out there. It's kind of hard to find underwear, hemp stuff. It's becoming easier and easier. But this is some really good. Again, these guys are really good quality. This is like gym wear, almost boxer brief style. And so, really, really good stuff. And then the Hemp Traders little shorty socks, as I have explained in the past, I really like my shorty socks in the summer. Show off those nice, beautiful little tiny ankles of mine, as you can see. And so, that's a product that we do sell in the store, the little hemp shorties. And like I said, I think that of all the pairs that I have, I don't know if I've ever gotten a hole in a pair. And, they stretch nicely for basically just about any size foot. If you want to show off your beautiful ankles like I do on occasion or almost every day in the summer, I suppose. And then the shoes, and these are some of my personal favorites, again, are the Circa brand hemp, part of their Love Edition, I believe, and they are Skate for Cancer. So originally, I believe when I purchased these, they were some donation made to hopefully fighting cancer, or a legitimate, and I'm sure it was because these guys are kind of a small company still, even though Circa's big in the skateboard world, and has been for a long time. This was just kind of a good cause, not just because they were made out of hemp, because it supported a good cause. Everybody knows somebody that has been affected by cancer, and it sucks, and I hate it. And I don't hate a lot, but I sure hate cancer.
Absolutely.
And so anything that can be done, to rid that of the planet is okay by me. And so there you have it, folks. That's what Beach is wearing. Um, uh, and so
If you're
we
disappointed
move
by the
on.
lack of a runway show, we're still working out the logistics of all that. It's a very tough thing to put together.
It is true. I do have an idea for the for that, in fact. And so or we might throw an episode in there where I come up with this, or I'm going to come up with this video idea and then I'm going to post it. But you have sent me on a mission to do a runway style hemp video and clothing something or other. And we see these at a lot of the trade shows. Again, I'll bring that up with my news here in a minute because I know that there's going to be one going on soon somewhere else. Not that I'm going to be in it. I'm not. But there will be something going on soon.
By the way, before we get into news, Stacy commented on Facebook. I guess the emoji with the heart eyes. I guess is how that's described. And also, Kevin,
right. Okay.
Kevin says, "What up, Beach? Hello from sunny and Hempy, Florida." So thanks everybody for watching, of course, and sharing and liking. Every Wednesday we're here, right here on Facebook, noon Eastern time on the Temptations Beach page. Like the page, turn on notifications. You know all the stuff that you have to do to get Facebook to tell you there's something important is going on. Go do all of that stuff with the Temptations Beach page, and you'll be alerted when we go live every Wednesday. Because you don't want to miss this.
That's
it's
right.
Very, you get the bonus material, the runway show, all that. It's you gotta like the page.
It's true. It's true. And thanks to everybody out there watching live and watching in the future. The show gets posted right after we do it, and then Joe, if there's really something exciting, breaks it up into little spots. If we really have something that we want to give you in little batches. But thanks everybody for
a little taste of the show,
for supporting us.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to the old beach hemp news. Everything's beach on High Noon Hemp Show. Right. And it's the Beach Hemp News. First and foremost, I want to have a shout out to Evo bars, which we carry. Evo products. They have Evo, hemp snacks, we'll call them, because they just partnered with the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation to grow organic hemp. Anybody out there in the hemp world knows about Pine Ridge due to Alex Whiteplume, who is a hemp farming pioneer. If you don't know the story of Alex Whiteplume, briefly, and this was probably about 10 years ago, he would grow a small plot of industrial hemp on the reservation. The DEA, the government, would come in, plow it down, and leave. Tear it down, leave. They finally kind of charged him with something. It was part of an agreement. They said, okay, as long as you'll never grow industrial hemp again, we won't come back and do this and charge you. So he agreed to this. He wouldn't do it to protect himself, which was, again, terrible, but understandable at the time. That particular ban on Alex Whiteplume was recently lifted. And so I've shared a stage. Again, he was a hemp farmer, a revolting, I don't want to say that. That sounds terrible. a revolutionary hemp farmer.
There you go.
When industrial hemp was not legal 10, 15 years ago. And so his story is great, and I'm really glad to see that they are profiting from growing industrial hemp out there at the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. And Evo makes a great product. That being said, we have in our local news, so to speak, in Ohio, we have a plant opening up in Cleveland that is going to manufacture hemp building materials, carpet and insulation, clothing, and CBD oil eventually, but they're not starting with that. They're actually starting with these more byproducts. North Coast Natural Solutions is going to be hiring about 650 employees, again, in the Cleveland area. And I think the funnest thing about this, not that it's in Ohio, once again, if the Ohio Board of Pharmacy has their opinion way, this Cleveland plant will be shut down before it's ever opened for making, and this is the greatest thing about this, they have a contract with California Dairy Queens to supply them with hemp straws and utensils.
Wow.
And so I think that is like super cool. The straw banning, the plastic banning in California and some other states is kind of controversial. I think it's great. I think that until plastic is made out of all natural compostable products like hemp, then it should be banned. It's a terrible, terrible thing for our planet. We all know it. We're all victim of using it. We need to stop and move on. And hemp is probably the greatest solution for that. Here we see it being proven every day. Excuse me. All right. Here's something exciting that I just found on the old internet. And I want to thank hempmonster.com for this. They posted some hemp Airbnbs. And so these are the two that are semi-close in the United States. There is an Airbnb cabin in Franklin, North Carolina called the Hemp House at 14 Woods. Okay, well, I repeat, that's an Airbnb. So you want to travel to the lovely mountains of North Carolina, Franklin, North Carolina. You will be, I believe, dead center in the middle of a huge, huge national forest, if I looked at the map correctly. And you'll be staying in a hemp house. They call it a cabin, but it is made and built from hemp. The other one, and this is kind of exciting as well, is actually in Asheville. And I knew there was one of the first hemp house in the United States was built in Asheville. And it was built from why they built it was these parents were looking, they had a child who was super sensitive to all kinds of things. They were looking for the cleanest environment of a house to build the child, and they came up with hemp. They found that hemp was one of the cleanest resources to do this. And so that happened. Now this, I don't know how old or new this is. This is the Airbnb, Asheville, North Carolina. It's called the Na House. And it's an eco-friendly hemp house. And so once again, if you're going to go to Asheville, I believe if I remember correctly, they said there's a creek running directly behind this hemp house. It's an Airbnb. It's listed on Airbnb. Both of these are, again, one is called the Hemp House at 14 Woods. The other, and I'll post these, I will post these on the About page at hemptations.com, as I always do, so you can go there and make it easy for you to look them up and stay in some hemp houses. I can't wait for a reason to do this. I can't believe that I didn't know about these. Where are my hemp people? I got peeps in Asheville, and I didn't know about this. So anyway, I know about it now. I'm telling you, support these Airbnbs made out of hemp because, come on, how cool is this?
Absolutely.
And so let's move on to a couple events. The Wink and Son people over in West Virginia, I love these guys. We sell their products. They're moving into their new location this weekend, the 28th through the 30th. So if you're over in the Wheeling, West Virginia area, go support that move into their new location, supporting hemp. He's a hemp farmer. He's been a hemp retailer for a while. He is a hemp manufacturer. They bring their products. They make they make the product. I believe they bring the products in from Nepal. So it's Nepalese hemp stuff. Again, we sell that stuff in the store. And then speaking of West Virginia, here's a little news. Right now in West Virginia, there's a little bit of controversy because they have seized an industrial hemp crop in West Virginia, apparently, and they're going to have to get their facts straight because these industrial hemp farmers imported their industrial hemp seed from Kentucky instead of internationally. And so there's this, it's this really weird point of view of the federal district, I believe. And again, once they get to court and they get educated on this, I don't think it's going to be a problem, because these hemp farmers brought their industrial hemp, so it's an industrial hemp cultivar seed from Kentucky instead of internationally. And there's no, that's not a stipulation of industrial hemp laws. West Virginia was actually the first state to legalize industrial hemp 20 years ago. They didn't issue a license because the DEA wouldn't approve it. And they are now growing under, once again, the 2014 Agricultural Act, with the industrial hemp part of it.
I may be I may be wrong about this, but and people out there, if you are listening to more about the story, correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe that's the Southern District of West Virginia, and the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of West Virginia, for some reason, makes a habit of tweeting a lot about how much he hates cannabis, he hates marijuana. It's horrible. Legalization is a horrible thing, and really just excessive tweeting about the subject.
Might very well be that particular individual who has got the ball rolling on this.
He's not a fan.
And so, hopefully, once again, we're going to get into court and get this turned over. I say we, I mean them. And I'll keep everybody abreasted to how that goes as well. The Southern Hemp Expo is also this weekend down in Nashville. I recommend, if you have an opportunity to go to that, because it's going to be huge and involve a lot of hemp, and endless amounts of hemp are going to be there. So go ahead and do that. October 10th, I've been talking about this. The Growing Warriors at Healing Ground Farm is doing their event. You can find that on Facebook. Again, that's the Growing Warriors at Healing Ground Farm. They're bringing in Victory Hemp and the Hemp Road Trip. Both very educated. One is a hemp processor, and we sell their food product. The other is basically one of the greatest hemp voices in the country, going around the country and educating. And then the next day is the Department of Agriculture Industrial Hemp Pilot Program information day. Runs from 1 to 5. This is a Sunday. Again, this is on the Hemptations About page, listed with the dates, with the address, and all of those things. The Industrial Hemp Farm Summit here in Ohio has been rescheduled for November 17th. And so we will keep that, we'll keep you updated on that as we get more information. The location has changed. I know that it's moving to a bigger venue. And so that's all the news that I have today.
Awesomeness.
And so that's what I got.
So
folks.
we'll
And
get
again,
to
you can go.
Ask Beach anything.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you go to the hemptations.com webpage, all this stuff is listed or will be listed on the About page. So you can check that out anytime.
And
all
while
right,
you're there, you can check out the locations to the stores. Now it's time for Ask Beach Anything. Every week we post on the various Facebook pages of the Hemptation stores. Ask Beach Anything. You post your questions in the comments. We had a question late last week towards the end of the show, which we saved for this week because it was towards the end of the show, and it would have been kind of a long thing to get into at that point.
Sure.
We also got another question from Facebook on one of the Ask Beach Anything threads. We'll start with that. Carrie from Facebook wants to know, do you recommend a certain CBD oil over others for those not near you, meaning near the Hemptation stores in Southwest Ohio? What would you say to that about certain CBD oils over others? Do you have favorites? Do you not have favorites? And why and why not?
Well, again, I think that I would recommend the products that we sold. If you can go to their website, I don't know. I believe you can go to Queen City Infusion's website and order their product. Hemp Lucid is another one. If you can find that. I think there are a lot of places out there. Charlotte's Web is very reputable. And so, if they'll ship, and I believe they're shipping 50 states, just I kind of touched on this last week as well. You just want to make sure that you go over their whole website and go to their about page and read and make sure that they're at least testifying that they're testing their product for cleanliness and accuracy. Um, do a little investigating online. There have been some companies, and this was the FDA incident that happened a couple years ago, was the FDA got involved in the CBD because of the claims that were being made. And so they actually tested some products and found that they didn't have the amount of CBD that they were saying. They made some products stop making medical claims because these are supplements. And so, I can't tell you to use it for a medical reason. I can't give you advice on medical reasons because we sell CBD supplements. If you need that medical advice, I suggest going to a doctor, going to a state where it's legal for medicinal purposes, and having a doctor explain to you those things. But that being said, go online, do the research. Honestly, don't go to more than one website. Find somewhere that looks reputable, has testing and whatnot. Give them a chance. Honestly, that's the best way you're going to find out. I said last week, if it's got some silly flavor name, don't buy it. It shouldn't have, honestly, some silly flavor name. Unless it's the gummies, and the gummies, a lot of people use the gummies because they're down to the specific milligram. No ifs or buts if the company is doing, what's right. So again, do a little research. And again, listen to the products that we've recommended here that we sell in the stores and see if they sell those online, and then go from there on that. And so, all right. And then the next question, the last question of the show, comes from Nick last week. He asked, will we ever see full-blown legalization? If so, when? Also, do you know of any new cancer studies where it has cured cancer? I don't, on the legalization issue, if you're talking hemp, if the 2018 Agricultural Act passes, then it's basically makes industrial hemp legal, takes all of it off the controlled substance list, so it doesn't have to be taken off by the DEA to be grown. If you're talking medicinal or personal use, it could be within a year or two. Honestly, talk in Washington is they're going to do something, and so we'll see. Not necessarily my issue, but I follow it. I can't tell you, an Amish doctor in I believe North Carolina or somewhere south is spending 5 years in prison because he talked about his product curing cancer. There is a lot of speculations out there until we actually can do real medical studies in the United States. I think they're proving in other countries, and I think they're proving here through whether non-conventional ways or non-approved by the FDA, I should say, ways, as to curing cancer. I can't speak on that. I don't. I would, if I had cancer, or if I had a loved one with cancer, I would sure say, why not give it a try and see. It's, again, all natural. But I can't make any medical claims. I won't make any medical claims. I know that it aids in the side effects of the medicines that they put you on at the hospital. I will say that, because that is, I've had patients tell me that, though it's from testimonial, not from some claim or whatever on whatever. And so, I sure hope that we see legitimate studies that are approved by the FDA soon, so that we can either get it rescheduled and then see the studies approved by the FDA that say, hey, yeah, worked here, didn't work here, works this way, doesn't work that way. It's the only way to really, everybody wants to take their word for it.
Yeah. I definitely know, if you search on Google for cannabis and cancer, there's been various studies done where it's shown positive effects as far as cancer like on the cellular level, like in lab mice and things like that, where it'll stop the spread, or it'll kind of shrink the cell. But there's, like I said, there's been various low level studies. There obviously needs to be a lot more, and many people know the story of Rick Simpson. That's all anecdotal evidence. Obviously, some people believe it, some people don't. You can decide for yourself. But yeah, I would definitely say if I'm someone who's faced with cancer, I'm not going to take anything off the table, and I'm not going to say, oh well, that's just going to make things worse, because it's not. I'm going to start throwing everything at
Consult
it
your
in the
doctor.
kitchen sink, as they say.
Yeah, true, absolutely. So, all right, folks. Well, there we are. Longest show yet, I believe. So we're going to wrap it up.
Absolutely. They don't mind. They love it.
They don't. I hope so. Either way, I like doing it. As we all know, I'll ramble for days on hemp if I could. So cutting it to 45 minutes is pretty good. So,
Absolutely.
folks, that being said, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having Hemptations?
Absolutely. Go check out the stores, hemptations.com. Stop in today. All the stuff you need. CBD products and the hemp products and the glass and just everything. Just go. Stop. The video's over. Get up, get in your car, go to Hemptations.
Love it.
Thanks, Beach. See you next week.
Yes, sir.